Hi, readers. I'm Alexis, and I am going to be joining your reading workshop for the next several weeks. I am so excited to work with all of you. And since we are going to be working together, I thought it would make sense if we took some time to get to know each other. Something I want you to know about me is that I recently started running. Sometimes I run on the treadmill at the gym. Sometimes I run outside in my neighborhood. Sometimes I run on this trail behind my house. And in the past, I've run for different reasons. Maybe I wanted to get in shape. Sometimes I wanted to do really well in a race. But this time, I decided that my goal as a runner is simply to become a stronger runner. So in order to do this, I started setting specific goals for myself. First, I set a goal to work to improve my stride. I recorded myself running so I could see what I looked like. I asked people to watch me run and give me pointers. And I even went on a search for the perfect running shoes that fit my feet. Once I set a goal and decided that I wanted to improve my stride, I took steps to work towards reaching that goal. And guess what, readers? That is pretty similar to the work we do in Reading Workshop. The purpose of Reading Workshop is to become stronger and stronger readers. Now, you might be thinking that this sounds crazy. You might be thinking, I don't need to work on my reading. I already know how to read. I can read just fine. You might be thinking, I've been reading for years. But readers, just like there is a big difference between the kind of writing you did when you were younger and the kind of writing you do now, there is a big difference between the kind of reading you did years ago and the kind of reading you do now. So readers, over the next several weeks, you have the ability to outgrow yourselves as readers. But this will only happen if you work on your reading. So today I want to teach you that to become stronger readers, we need to set specific goals and then work with deliberateness towards achieving those goals. One way to do this is to reflect on your own reading life, just like I reflected on my running life, and ask yourself, how is my reading life strong? And how could my reading life be even stronger? And then once you've identified how it's strong and how it can be even stronger, you can think about how you want it to be stronger and use that to set a goal for yourself. So readers, I'm going to give this a try. So I'm going to think a little bit about my reading life. And I'm thinking that I'm the type of reader who always has a large stack of books on my nightstand. And I read whenever I have a few moments and I have some time to myself. I always grab a book. And I always have a book ready to go. Whenever I finish a book, I always have a new book on deck. So I'm thinking, I don't need to necessarily work on the amount of reading that I do, because I read a lot. One thing I'm thinking about, though, is the types of books I read. I tend to read a lot of mysteries, and I tend to read a lot of historical fiction. But readers, I don't tend to read many other genres. So I'm thinking that one thing I could work on in my reading life could be to branch out a little bit and read some other genres. I'm thinking that I could kind of expand my book selection so that I have a more balanced reading diet. So now that I have this goal, now I'm going to think about a plan. How might I do this? Let me think. How can I make sure I have a more balanced reading diet? Well, maybe I could reach out to some of my friends who I know love fantasy or biography or memoir. And maybe I could ask them to give me some book recommendations. Sounds like a good plan. Let's see, what else could I do? Maybe I could look at the books I've already read and loved. Like I could look at some of my favorites and think about the authors and see if those authors have written something in another genre that I might want to try. Okay. So that feels like a pretty good plan for me, readers. So do you see how I did that? I first asked myself, how is my reading life strong? And then I asked myself, how could my reading life be stronger? And then I used that to create a goal and develop a bit of a plan to work towards this goal. So readers, now it's your turn to give it a try. So right now, you're going to want to think about this for yourself. You're going to want to take a minute and think, how is my reading life strong? How could my reading life be even stronger? And then use that to create a goal. Right now, you're going to want to pause this video to do this work. And once you've identified a goal and jotted it down somewhere, you can unpause the video and we'll continue. Okay, readers. So now it's time to go off and do some of your own reading. And what you're probably going to want to do today as you go off and do your own reading is create a little bit of a plan for yourself. This is always a good idea. Each day before you start your reading can be a nice idea to kind of create a little work plan for yourself and think, what do I want to accomplish as a reader today? So today you're probably going to think, well, one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work towards my goal. And you might think about, is there anything else I want to accomplish as a reader today? So take a second and kind of make a little work plan for yourself. You can just do this in your head or you can write it down. And when you're ready, when you have your book and your materials and you have your work plan, you're ready to go off and read. Off you go.